back to my channel and to me feeling a whole lot more relaxed and relieved because the gig was on Friday and it's done, and now I can go back to having some sort of normal level of adrenaline flowing through my veins. So I am going to talk to you a little bit about my gig and about some thoughts I had about my gig, but I feel I summarised it quite nicely in a little bit of footage I took on Saturday, so I'm going to insert that here right now. We are just on our way for some food and I'm feeling a lot more laid back than I have felt in months, thanks to the gig being last night. And I will tell you about how the gig went, but I'm kind of in my mind relating it to minimalism, so I'm going to do like a sit down thing because my mind is always relating things to minimalism. It doesn't really matter what it is, but I thought it could be potentially an interesting topic. I was thinking a lot about how I didn't really want to record it.
Record your gig?
Yeah. And a lot of it was because of how anxious I was feeling beforehand. So in my mind, I was thinking, actually, I would quite like to be able to leave this in the past. Because that's really what, you know, mementos and memories and possessions do. They're linking you to everything that's come before. And sometimes it is quite nice just to leave things in the past. I think another thought I had along those lines was about like jazz improvisations. One of the things I really like about the whole act of improvising in music is that it's so fleeting, you know, it's there and then it's gone.
Yeah.
There's something quite beautiful about that. At the moment, well, we got up at like 12 today, really. I've been in bed all day because I felt I deserved it, so I've just been on my laptop. But we've got some grapes as a kind of brunch situation, and then we're gonna have some nice food. So as you know, if you saw my vlog, I was a little bit scared of performing on Friday. It was my first time fronting a band, and I had had several panicky moments in the months running up to this gig. So like, even before I went to Bali, I was already freaking out. So I left for the gig straight from work because we had to set up a sound check and all that kind of thing, and I was playing with the main band and we were very well rehearsed, so that was going to be fine. But I managed to forget a really important bit of kit that I needed basically to make any sound at all, and I was really annoyed at myself because I packed everything. I packed my sound card and all my wires and everything in this little box, and then I forgot the box. So it basically meant that I just couldn't do anything. So I was really annoyed at myself because I'd forgotten it, and it should have been a really simple thing to not forget, because I thought about it, I packed everything, and then I just didn't put it in the big bag I took. So I was gutted. I was really like irritated at myself, and it was kind of, you know, negative mindset of, oh, this is an omen of things to come, that kind of attitude, which, you know, it isn't based on any logic at all, but you know, I don't think my mind was operating at its best that day. And then we actually played and it went really well, like really well. I was really happy until the very last song, which was Ribcage, which is the one that did well on Spotify, so that's the one I really wanted to do well. My keyboard wasn't making the sounds it was meant to make, so instead of doing this kind of mwah thing that it was meant to do, it was just going like that, and I was like, it was basically making no sound at all. So that was gutting because I should have stopped and gone, oh, something's wrong, let's fix it. But I didn't, I just kept on going. And then the kick pedal from the drum kit broke, and so the drummer wasn't making any like bass drum sounds, and so he had to just like kick it with his foot basically to try and get it, because it was about 3/4 of the way through. And then someone went to go help him and knocked an amp onto Charles's back, and so the whole last song was just, it's like a comedy of errors. The whole thing was, it was a bit ridiculous, but it sounded okay, and I was very pleased, and I'm so pleased it's done, and I can't actually describe the relief that I feel right now. And also the last weekend, because I had the nicest weekend of just like Saturday and Sunday. I did want to film, but there was just part of me that was like, Carmen, if you don't get around to filming, that's okay. I've just been really like gentle with myself, just take the day off if you want, and that's totally fine, you know, just waste this day, do whatever you like, treat yourself. And I did that, and it was amazing. But I had a lot of interesting thoughts on the night, or stuff that I think is interesting, and I hope that you will also agree is interesting. But I brought my camera and I was gonna sort of vlog it or get some footage of it, but then I was so worried about it, and I knew that a lot of negative emotion had gone into that night, that there was part of me that just thought that I would really like to just leave it behind, like to have no evidence of it, and just to have it just be something that happened. And it got me thinking a lot about digital media and how it's so easy now to just capture everything and to store those memories in the form of videos or photos. And it is a good thing because quite often I'll use the camera on my phone instead of writing things down, or there's a lot of ease of use with this kind of thing. But then I have so much footage on my computer that I've taken, and even before I was doing it for YouTube, just because I felt this sort of panic, maybe like a kind of like a concern. I was worried about forgetting things, as if I owed it to the moment to remember it. But I don't think there's anything wrong with forgetting things, or to not be able to relive something, or to revisit it via digital media. And in some ways I think it's quite nice for something to be so fleeting. It's quite beautiful. In the footage of me and Charles in the car, we talk a little bit about jazz and about how it's one of the things that's so beautiful about jazz improvisations is that they are so fleeting. And yes, some of them are being recorded, and quite often, especially now, more and more are being recorded, but there's something so beautiful about something only existing in that moment, and about only being shared amongst the people who are present. And obviously this was a long time before recording devices were a thing, but we know that Bach, his organ improvisations were incredible. He would be like improvising fugues and ridiculous complexity, but it's one of those things where it's almost more magical because we don't know what he did. There's something quite nice about that, I think, and I can't put my finger on what it is. I think maybe it's just because it contrasts so much with how we live our lives today. We live our lives in a place where so many things are captured, and there's almost a responsibility to have to share what you've been up to or share what you're doing. Because of social media, everything's about kind of keeping everyone updated, and there's this idea that you owe it to the people who follow you, or who are your, or your family, or this kind of thing. But the idea of having a moment, or having something, or having an event that only exists in that one space at that one time is becoming a novelty. That's sort of what I wanted for the gig, and I don't think it came from that pure place that I'm telling you about now. I think it came from panic. It came from me thinking this is going to go terribly, and I really don't want to have any evidence of it. I think that was my thought process at the time, but I do think there is something quite nice about that, which I hadn't really considered before. Also, quite often when we stop what we're doing to capture something, so to get our phone out, to get your camera out, it can take you out of the moment, and there's something about just being there and enjoying it. So I guess the main point of this video is to let you know how my gig went, and to thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart for all of your lovely, kind words and comments. And you know how I was feeling. I've been panicking about this for such a long time, and every single one of your comments just made me feel so much better. It just made me feel really supported, and I really need to thank you for that, because you guys were kind of there for me, really. So thank you so much. And I guess the main conclusion of this video from a minimalist perspective is that it's okay to not capture everything, and in fact there's kind of a beauty in it. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you for subscribing and for your lovely comments, and just for being so kind. If you want to follow me on my Instagram, please feel free, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you very much.